Hey, this is Pamela Schneider. I'm the retail editor for Blue Book Services, and this is the Produce Reporter Week in Review. Greg, we got soccer jerseys again. One more week of
World
soccer.
Cup final edition. We each
Yep.
have a team, although I wouldn't say I'm exactly a diehard.
Yeah, I'm kind of a France diehard, but my guy accomplished what he needed to accomplish. Leading scorer for France, all-time leading scorer. I could go either way. I'd like to see Messi win. Um, you know, they knocked out Netherlands in a really, really good match. So let's just hope that it's a really, really good match, even though it's Sunday morning at 9 o'clock in the morning. Normally my sleeping in time, but I'll get over it. But this week we had a couple of really interesting reports. We also had a chance to store check together the other night. We
We
stopped
did
by
grocery shopping. That was fun.
Amazon Fresh in Bloomingdale, Illinois, near the Blue Book headquarters. We were in town for some meetings and for the annual Christmas party. And you can, of course, see my impressions of the Amazon Fresh experience. One thing I forgot to mention in my video was that so much of that stuff was a private label. I don't know if you saw that, but the Amazon Fresh label was all over that store. Um, I thought that was
Yes, I
interesting.
did notice that. Um, I saw your photos, and of course, I walked through the same produce department. There's some really good looking produce in there, and some decent prices on things. And we bought some of it, and we ate some of it, and it was good.
Yeah, yeah. And one of the things that was really focused in that store, I felt like a lot of the signage was really keyed in on inflation. Almost every end cap in the produce department had signage about saving money during inflation. And that kind of brings us to the first round of what we are talking about today, and that is Numerator's monthly inflation report. Had some kind of scary data in it this month.
Yeah, um, I think people are starting to get a little bit overwhelmed, and maybe they see so much of this inflation stuff, and after a while, you start to get a little bit immune to it. And so we're going to start pointing out things in these reports that are more meaningful. And the good thing for produce is produce inflation year over year was just under 9%, according to this report in November, which was slightly higher than meat and poultry and fish, but lower than all the other categories they track, such as a lot of the center store, bakery, dairy, beverages. But yeah, something jumped out at us that we couldn't actually believe, and it's in there. And it said that high income consumers have reduced the number of grocery items purchased by 1.6% year over year, which is not really significant.
Right.
But low and middle income consumers have reduced the number of grocery items purchased by 11.7 and 11.1% year over year, respectively. So that means, I mean, I don't know where the breakdown is, but it's the high income, say it's 100,000. So of consumers making less than 100,000 in grocery or in household income, those groups are buying over 11% fewer grocery items than a year ago. So that
Yeah.
seems like a big number to me.
Yeah. I mean, we've always said we're not too worried about inflation in grocery because people got to eat, right? But it's we're seeing that people are actually not eating as much or not buying as much. I have a feeling a lot of this is trading out of things that you don't need. You may stand there and decide perhaps this week I'm not going to pay $6.99 for a pound of strawberries, and I will buy the very reasonably priced grapes at Amazon Fresh. We made that decision the other night. We're like, strawberries are pretty expensive right now. How about we go with grapes because they're a lot better deal.
The
Um,
blackberries were also cheap and they were wonderful.
yeah, yeah.
So
So
yeah, you have to learn. But yeah, I mean, purchasing 11% fewer items, so that means you're buying 45 instead of 50. Is that, could you see that? I mean, maybe are you doing that? Maybe I'm doing that already and I don't even notice.
I don't think I'm doing it yet because I feel like I cut back in other parts of my life rather than cut back in food. I buy fewer soccer jerseys or something like that. You know, my
Maybe maybe
non-essentials
you
are
have
different.
critical mass.
I mean, I got teenage boy to feed, and he's like a garbage compactor right now. Although I will mention, I'm making a lot more rice and potatoes than I was before, just to keep that kid full. But it's not surprising to me that people are buying fewer items because they're probably deciding not to pick up that bag of chips because chips are super expensive. Not to pick up, some candy or snacks, or an item that they don't see as a need. I think that's where we're trading out. And then also maybe a tiny part of it is year over year people are eating out at restaurants more, I feel like, just because of availability. And if you recall, last December, November, December, we were just starting the whatever wave it was. It was a wave of something, COVID related, and some more cautious and lockdown. And so maybe people were eating food at home a little bit more than they were this year, so that could be part of it as well. But to see those numbers is kind of striking, and it makes you go, maybe I won't buy those, $60 strawberries.
So tell us about the $60 strawberries you saw this week.
So many people know that my husband works very close to the original HEB Central Market in Central Austin, and he goes there at lunchtime and sends back pictures of interesting things he saw. I mean, passion fruit, the market has come back down. Sounds like we're in a better farming situation, but he sent me this picture. I'm gonna put it up here of $60 for 9 strawberries, and it just blew my mind because I was like, we've heard of these before. The Oishi, I believe, is the name of it, in New York. They're expanding their greenhouses. It's a Japanese company, but these were actually imported straight from Japan. And I need to give Robert and Melissa's a call and be like, hey, Robert, what's up with these pink strawberries? Because wow. And actually, I put the photo on LinkedIn, and I had a lot of people chime in, and someone actually told me the story of the strawberries, and I will share that in a column I write about it. But I'm gonna have to take a collection of me and my friends. Maybe we'll all like chip in some money and buy the $60 strawberries, because I don't think I can justify that expense.
You're not going to put it in a smoothie?
No. uh, that and actually kind of was shocking when you think about what's going on in the strawberry market. We had a story from Mark on this week about the strawberry market. They actually had to pause picking because they had poor market conditions, poor crop conditions. So we were actually looking forward to some relief in the strawberry market, and it looks like that got paused. And maybe next week, maybe the week after, we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, California, I think. I mean, their season ends at the end of the year, so that's not much time left. So we're going to have to start looking to Mexico and Florida pretty soon, and hopefully that brings them back into the market at reasonable prices for consumers.
If not, there's always raspberries and blackberries and blueberries, and those have all been amazing lately. So thank goodness for availability of different kinds of berries, I guess.
And the last thing we wanted to talk about was in the monthly Amory Row Rank report, and there was some really good news coming out of Thanksgiving. It sounds like it was a pretty normal Thanksgiving most places in the country.
Yeah, it seems like from the IRI's surveys, so this report is still just as meaty as it used to be. From the very beginning of the pandemic, Anne Marie has been putting together just a wealth of data, and data lovers like myself really dive into it. And they also do results from the monthly consumer survey, just kind of a consumer sentiment survey regarding food and also fresh produce specifically. And they saw people are returning to normal when it comes to holidays, and we expect that will be a similar case going into the December holidays as well. Thanksgiving this year, people went ahead and got together and did their dining all together, although they did mention that a fair number of people outsourced some of their Thanksgiving meal stuff by buying some take and bakes on sides and things like that. So I thought it was a really interesting concept to introduce the hybrid meal. for the quintessential American feast. And here we are doing semi-homemade on that. I thought that was really interesting.
Well, there's certain things that the professionals simply do better, and a lot of the wonderful dishes that we make for these holidays take a lot of time.
Yeah.
Some people don't want to do that.
Yeah, but and we're gonna stand firm on friends don't let friends do powdered potatoes or potato flakes for major holidays. I've been asked to make a gratin on Christmas Day. Yay!
You will do a great job because it is a special occasion.
All right. Well, for now, that's it for the Produce Reporter Weekend Review. If you are not getting the Produce Reporter newsletter, you need to go to producebluebook.com and sign up. And
And
go to
after
Blue.
this week, it's back to American football.
Back to American football. Okay, fine.
December, January is NFL primetime.